Cowboys Nation, welcome back. My name is Rika. This is my show, and not unlike NFL power rankings, it's both highly prejudicial and completely irrelevant. Tonight on the show, as always, if for no other reason than because restraining orders are ineffective, Charley Moffett. And my special guest tonight, I'm so happy to announce from Boss Cowboys Sports, the OC. Okay, OC, tell the people where they can find you, guy.
So you can follow me at the OC100 on Twitter. Can you hear me? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me okay? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. Fantastic. So, guys, you can follow me. I'm trying to fix my lighting here at the OC100 on Twitter. You also can follow Boss Cowboys Sports on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Boss Cowboys Sports. So thanks so much for inviting me. Honored to be on the show. And thanks so much, guys. Junior, nice to meet you, and excited to be a part of the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, everybody, before we get started, hey, do us a favor. Don't forget to thumbs up this video. And if you don't like Charley, go ahead and give us a thumbs down. I'm good with that, too. Just give me let me know how I'm doing. And while you're here, please subscribe and ring that notification bell so that YouTube will let you know every single time that I go live.
She's everything that every girl should be. Table, popcorn, white wine, that girl.
On the show.
That
So
video always makes me happy. Hey guys, listen up. TwistedGorilla.com is the best place online to get t-shirts. They've got funny t-shirts, they've got sarcastic t-shirts, but most importantly, y'all, they've got Cowboys t-shirts. So head to TwistedGorilla.com. Let them know that you're a fan of Rika Moves the Chains, that you're a fan of the Cowboys, that you're a fan of the OC, and save 15% at checkout when you use coupon code RIKA15. That website and that coupon code are in the ticker right down there at the bottom of the screen. Okay, guys, let's get to it. So we have got a Dallas Cowboys team that is 5-1, and that one was not a bad one. We've got an offense that is ranked top 5, and where you're at in that 5 depends on who you're getting your rankings from. But let's talk about this line. Are we putting our best 5 guys out there every single week? Do we get better? I mean, as this season progresses, do we have the personnel, maybe some people on the bench, some people coming back from suspension, to take this lights out offense and make it even better? So let's go position by position. We could start with Zach Martin. I don't think there's much to say there, right? Zach Martin, no complaints.
No, he's good.
I mean,
No, he's good.
Fantastic. Tyron Smith down at the left end. I mean,
no, he's good.
the health has been great all year. Let's move to the middle. Let's talk about Tyler Biadasz. Tyler. So, all right. Week 1, Tyler got pretty bullied by Vita Vea, but most people do. You know, week 2, Rochelle got him a few times. We move into week 3. You've got Malik Jackson. There was that nasty forced fumble in the end zone. According to Mark Holmes, and I haven't looked at the numbers myself, he is giving up 3 more pressures than every other center in the league, and he's not the player that we thought he was at the end of last season. So at this point, we're asking ourselves, do we need to be replacing him right now? Do we need to hold out? Do we need to be spending our Saturdays watching college games looking for a center? What do you guys think? The OC?
So I think that Tyler Biadasz is a young center. I think that he has some lower body issues that he hasn't fully recovered from yet. I don't think he's really had the opportunity to really train and get the strength in his lower half that he needs to. I don't see him even playing as strong at points as he did coming out of college. So I think there's something going on. He needs the off season to train and to get stronger. I think that intellectually he understands technique-wise, he does have some errors and things as a as it relates to his leverage. The Cowboys are 5-1, man. They're rolling. I mean, could a viable replacement, I think it will be Connor McGovern. And my question about Connor McGovern is that does he have the IQ to be running the offensive line? I'm not sure about that right now. So right now, until it becomes a really huge issue, and I think you got some good players around him, I'll leave him.
Absolutely. That's kind of been my thinking on it. Charlie, what about you?
I couldn't have said better. I mean, I know you said earlier that people wasn't what they thought he was at the end of last year. But then last year, he played 4 fucking games. So, I mean, he's still young. I mean, he's played what now? Total 10 games? You know, so no, everything OC said, he's right on target with that. I don't disagree with none of that. That's how I feel about him. I'm not panicking yet.
I'm looking at him from what I saw last year, and I'm thinking,
the hell, Bluff coming in?
I don't know.
Damn, Bluff. Oh, he
went away. Okay.
I guess he accidentally came in.
I'm looking
Bluff,
at.
if you listen, and you come in if you want. Shit,
Yeah.
come on in.
I'm looking at what I saw from Tyler Biadasz last year. I know that a little bit of it was a depleted line. So when we were looking at him, the players around him might have been making him look a little bit better than what he actually was. And he's also not had a full season of complete starts. And he did have some injury issues in the offseason. And I want to stick it out there just a little bit longer. He's had a few bumps along the way, but we're very strong at other positions, and we've been able to work back from that. So let's go ahead and move one over to the left. Connor Williams. Connor is leading the league right now in holding calls. However, his actual play is not an issue, but the holding calls are an issue. In looking at what happened on Sunday, he had 7 of our 12 penalties. We racked up, I think it was like 115 penalty yards, which is more than 25% of our season total. At that point, I wasn't so much mad at Connor Williams as I was frustrated with the refs and wondering at that point, if you guys were coaching that game, seeing that they were all over Connor Williams the way that they were, would you have swapped him out for McGovern to see if you could draw the ref's eye somewhere else? Because it seemed like they were really zeroed in on him.
I'll let OC go first. You go first every time, OC. It's your platform.
Yeah, man, a great question. Thank you so much. So, I don't know if I will swap him out, man. I think that here's the thing with Connor is this, man. He lacks power. You know, he lacks power. And so what he does instead of driving the feet is to latch on a little bit and leaves himself vulnerable to getting those holding calls. And I'm not opposed to him. Look, I think that he's a solid guard. Do I think we could be better at that guard position? Absolutely. But swapping him out, no. But here's the deal. When you drafted Connor McGovern, right, you said in that draft that, hey, man, I'm not 100% sold on Connor Williams, because if you were, you would not have drafted Connor McGovern, right? Connor McGovern is more of a power player. He's stronger at the point of attack. And to me, he solidifies you a little bit better if you want to look at him for any, guard position as it relates to the left guard position. So that's my take on it. I think that, and I don't want to jump ahead because I know you're going down the line, so I'm going to reserve the rest of my comments. But
yes.
Yeah, that's what I think so far.
All right. Charlie, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Can't really add too much to that. I'm sure we're going to get in a discussion down the line.
Yes.
Which is what everybody else is talking about. So,
all right, here we go. End of the line, man. We've got Lyle Collins coming back. We've got Terence Steele. I'm going to be the first person to say I owe Terence Steele an apology. I complained about Terence Steele all year last year. I complained about him through the whole preseason. I felt like I didn't see any kind of development. I felt like he was coming off of every single block in every single preseason game. I was so mad, and going into week 2, I was completely nervous. And here comes Terence Steele, and he shows up, and I'm like, hey, now, where you been? So we've got Terence Steele down there. We're feeling good about it, but then we've got Lyle Collins coming back. So obviously, the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff has some decisions to make. And in those decisions, they're looking at level of play. And I think to that, Lyle Collins is at a disadvantage because we've only seen one game out of him since 2019. And there's nobody to blame for that except for Lyle Collins. So he's got one game of tape versus the last 5 plus all of last season and that continued development that we saw out of Terence Steele. The OC, what do you think?
Yeah, I got a lot to say about this one. I'll try to summarize this and keep it brief. Here's the deal. 80% of the run yards, 80% of the run yards have come off of the right side of that offensive line. All right. 80%. So Terence Steele has been playing like a quality starting right offensive tackle. You have Lyle Collins coming in, and I'm not saying this, and a lot of people, if you follow Boss Cowboys Sports, have got us confused on this. I'm not saying that Steele is a better right tackle than Lyle Collins. But
you're cutting out on me a little bit, OC.
He actually. So if you think about that whole conundrum of Collins there.
Can you message him?
Yeah.
Message him, tell him to sign back in until we'll come bring him back on.
Yeah. I'm going to remove him.
I'm going to remove him right now.
Okay, I'll go ahead and let you talk, Charlie, while I send OC a message.
Oh, I got to talk? I want to talk to your sister. Can I talk to your sister?
Oh, go ahead, idiots.
No, but I don't know where he was going with that, but I think I do understand. If he has the same view as Boss does, I do understand where he's going with that. But I kind of want to hear his whole thought process because it's easier to get it over. Excuse me. It's easier to get it over on a video and actually talking than it is through typed out words. Sometimes typed out words get kind of misconstrued, especially me because I can't type worth the shit. My grammar fucking sucks, so I got to shorten everything down. Just, Boss is better and he's better at typing shit out, but still, I want to hear his whole thought process on it.
Yeah. We'll give him a minute to see if he can get back in. If not, then we'll continue. While we wait for him, we've got a few new joiners and we've got...
If he can't get back in, tell him if he can come back on Saturday.
Okay.
Let him know, come back in and keep him with the Joneses. I'd love to have him back because I know he does know shit about it.
Yeah, he's just about in. Okay. So... we've got a few new joiners. We've got Mendoza. Thanks for coming in. We've got Emac Beelit. She's a complete skank. Nobody likes her. Hey, guys. Like her. If you're just joining us and you haven't yet, don't forget to give us a like and hit that subscribe button. Ring the notification bell so that YouTube will let you know every single time I go live. And for, I guess Charlie will be here most of the time too. I don't really know.
I'm not so sure your sister would watch if it was just you.
Oh, whatever.
So, I'm just saying.
Yeah, no, because you're such eye candy, Charlie.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying. There
he is. All right, we got you back. Good deal. I think the last thing we heard
there we go.
Was that some people who watch Boss Cowboys Sports were misunderstood, and tell us about your philosophy you're thinking on Lyle Collins.
Yeah, so the philosophy is that Lyle Collins is so good he could be a Pro Bowler at guard or tackle. Right? When he was drafted, they said as much on the review of his draft status. He came in as a left guard, and he was actually, if you go back to the preseason of his rookie year, he was the highest rated guard going into the fourth game of the preseason. He played extremely well and graded well at that left guard position his rookie year. He was moved after that to the right tackle position where he struggled for a year and a half. So he didn't play at a Pro Bowl level. Now, 2019, when he got the contract extension, he played at a Pro Bowl level. He played fantastic. He played great. So if you want to get the best 5 on the field, I believe that a serious consideration should be given to leaving Steele at right tackle because 80% of the run yardage has come off of his butt, has come off of his behind. And then you can strengthen the inside of that, of the guards, by having not Connor Williams, I apologize, Leo Collins move back to the left guard position for the reason that you mentioned earlier. Vita Vea, Sue, the elite teams, when you get to the playoffs, the Cowboys are really good right now, right? Don't get me wrong. And I'm not saying that Steele is a better right tackle than Leo Collins. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying if you want to figure out how to get the best five on the field, right, then you take a strong look at that, because of the fact that when you play in the playoffs, if you're trying to make a run for 6, you're trying to make a run for the 6th Super Bowl, you got to be and your guard, you have 2 all-world guards next to him. They help secure him, and you still run inside zone and power football very effectively. I got a lot more to say, but that's my thought. Terence Steele has played really well. He's done a great job, and he's proven himself as a quality starting right tackle.
So your theory on it would be that it's not that Terence Steele is a better right guard than Lyle Collins. It's that right tackle. It's that Terence Steele is a better right tackle than Connor Williams is a left guard. That we would do better to take that. He's cutting out on me. That's okay. I'm just happy to have him. Okay, so.
All right, there you go. Can you hear me right?
I can hear you. So we've got Collins officially reinstated
just making
2
sure, because
days.
I'm seeing a little movement.
Okay. We've got Collins officially reinstated 2 days ago. We've got practice resuming next week. I'm going to assume at this point that what we see in practice, who we see taking reps where, is going to give us an indication of what to expect on October 31st when we come out against the Vikings. Are they going to slowly integrate Lyle Collins back into that right tackle position? Working him in because he only had that one game and then 5 weeks off? Or are they going to start some kind of rotation to figure out their best combination over on the left side between Tyron Smith and isn't going to be Williams, McGovern, or Collins? I see several combinations, and it's not that I think any of them are bad. I just don't really know which one is the best. I'd like to see them all. I'm definitely interested in what's going to happen when practice resumes next week. And that's kind of where I'm at on it. I see multiple lanes, which is a great problem to have. It's a great problem to have. But I definitely agree with you, OC, that this is something that we want to get worked out right now so that when the playoffs come, when we're back up against Tampa Bay, when we're seeing the Arizona Cardinals late in the season, when we're facing these tougher teams later in the year, we already have this worked out. While the schedule is a little bit easier, a little bit lighter, let's rotate some guys and figure out what is the best combination. How can we best protect Dak Prescott, which is my main goal, is to keep Prescott out of the dirt.
Absolutely, 2,000% agree. Absolutely.
So we're almost hitting that 30-minute mark. And I think that was really all that I had. We had some comments this week from Jerry Mike McCarthy, who alluded to the fact that Collins' position as a starter was not guaranteed, that we could still see Steele out on the field, that, that's not how they do things with the Dallas Cowboys. Other than that, though, I'm feeling good. I think we're at a wait and see moment, but we have several good paths. Charlie, any thoughts on that?
Yeah. I get where the idea comes from of moving Lyle back to left guard and keeping Steele at right tackle. I get the thought process. I just wouldn't do it. If I want Williams out of there, I'm not putting Lyle Collins there. I'm keeping Lyle at right tackle, and I'm putting Mac at left guard. I'm not. Look, this is where it comes into where I don't even know what fuck Lyle Collins is anymore. When he played in 2019, he was a top 5 left tackle. I mean, right tackle. There's no doubt. But last time we saw 2019 Lyle Collins, well, was in 2019.
2019.
So I don't know what he's going to be. But this is my thing. If you think he's a top 5 right tackle, if that's what you think he is, if anybody thinks he's that, then I'm not moving a top 5 right tackle into left guard somewhere he hasn't played in 5 years. He hasn't took a snap there since 2016, and he only played 3 games that year. So I'm not going to move him back to left guard and after not playing there 5 years and that Steele's done good. But what do you say? Steele's top 20, top 15 at best, top 20, top 25. I'm not downgrading my right tackle position that much. And we still don't know what he would be at left guard. I mean, we don't even know why he's going to be at left tackle because we haven't seen him there. I mean, right tackle because we haven't seen him there since 2019. We damn sure can't project what he's going to be at left guard 5 years removed. We have no clue. So I wouldn't make that big of a move. Mac's been there. Mac's been there the past 2 years. He's taken snaps at both guard positions. He's played snaps at right guard position. He's looked good when he's done it. It would be for me more simple just to replace. First of all, I'm not for replacing Williams right now. But if you're going to replace him, I'll replace him with Mac and leave Lyle back at right tackle. That's just me. But I do get like I said underneath Boss's tweet the other day, everybody was slamming him for it. I'm not slamming them for it. I do get, and same with OC, I do get where they're coming from, and I get the ideal. I just want to do it that way.
Yeah,
but I wouldn't lose my shit either. If they did that, I wouldn't be like, oh, this is the fucking worst move ever. Because I do get the thought process. I understand you're trying to improve that position. I just think it's not necessary. I think you can improve it in different ways and keep Lyle at right tackle and just put Mac in there. But that's where we all going to have a little different opinions on that.
Yeah. I think it's definitely worth exploring because, like you said, we don't know if Lyle Collins is still a top 5 right tackle.
Yeah,
we don't know how much better he is than Terence Steele at this point. And to be honest, since last season, I have been pretty disillusioned with Lyle Collins. I was pretty mad at the guy. You know, before the car wreck, he was already bad out of shape. He showed up to training camp that way. And I guess in my mind, you know what? This is your job. You're a professional athlete. You stay in shape. I'm not in shape, but guess what? Nobody pays me for it. They pay me to sit in my desk chair and type on my computer all day. So that's the way that I feel about it. And so I was already disillusioned with him. The failed drug test, I wasn't too mad about, but
he's out again.
Yeah, I'll keep talking. We'll see if he can come back in. Attempting to bribe someone, though, I have a big problem with, and I honestly don't know if Lyle Collins should be a Dallas Cowboy moving forward. We were depending on him.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. I'm not predicting he's
we're
not going to be a top.
this. Yeah, we've built this team. We've got this quarterback. We're depending on you to be here to do your game, to do your job, play every game, and in the last 22 games, you've played one. Maybe you don't deserve your job. If you come out here and you show us that you're a top 15 right tackle, but then we've got Terence Steele who can show us that he's a top 20, but he's going to show up every single week and follow the rules, maybe I'd rather have Terence Steele.
Yeah, I'm not predicting that he's not a top 5 right tackle. All I'm saying is
exactly because we don't know what he is.
Is that people are just saying you don't remove a top 5 right tackle and put him at left guard. That's the argument against the OC and Boss. And my argument to that is because I can argue both sides of this and take up for each side of this. And this is where I'll defend OC and the Boss. And they might think different than me. They might think he's still going to be a top 5 right tackle. But my thing is you don't know if he's going to be a top 5. Everybody's just saying, hey, he's going to be a top 5 right tackle. You can't move your top 5 right tackle into left guard. And my point is you don't know that. You don't know he's still a top 5 right tackle. So I'm not going to assume that until I see him out on the field, until he proves it. Because like I said, I'm surprised OC, I'm glad OC said this, is that at right tackle, he didn't play good for a year and a half. And I've always said that. If you go through Lyle Collins' career, he was a rookie in 2015 and flashed. He was dominant run blocker, like he would fucking wipe people out. Little things in pass protection, but fuck, he's a rookie. That happens. 2016 only played 3 games, so he didn't show much in 2016. 2017 they moved him to right tackle. Me and Boss will remember this. Me and him had a lot of back and forths in my group about him moving to right tackle. I was dead set against it. I did not want him at right tackle. And in 2007, and I've said this now for a few years, at 2017, 2018, he did nothing to prove me wrong because he did not play well at right tackle. He played, to me, average to above average. 2019 is when he broke out. And that's my whole point, is that people are assuming he's still going to be a 2019 Collins. And I'm just like, how do we know it? That's 1 year. We got 1 year of evidence that he can do that. And I'm not confident to say, yeah, he's going to be. Again, I'm not predicting he won't be. But people keep like going against OC and Boss. They keep saying, why would you move a top 5 right tackle into left guard? Well, I don't know what their opinion is on Collins. I don't know if he is his top 5 right tackle anymore. So I'm not going to say that.
Yeah, and something really interesting, guys, that people that don't want to have a change of guard, right? Most really elite teams have players that can play multiple positions, right? It is only the Jason Garrett philosophy of not moving players and not having them be able to move to different positions along the line, which really weakens. Exactly. It weakens your ability to make adjustments and to get the best players on the field. But here's the thing that most people are not really talking about. If you give Terence Steele the same runway that you gave La'el Collins to adjust to the right tackle position, he's actually trending ahead of where La'el Collins was in terms of his performance. His grade is actually a top 10 grade from the right tackle position. And here's a question. Everybody says this, he's a liability, right? On pass pro, you got to help him. What's wrong with chipping and helping a young tackle get settled? And then let me ask this question. How many sacks has Terence Steele given up this year? Zero.
I was about to say, if I remember correctly, zero. Yeah.
Zero. He hadn't given up a sack all year. So if you worry about, if people worry about consistency and if it's broke, don't fix it, then why in the world wouldn't you explore the opportunity? Now, again, I don't know that this will happen initially. I think this is all based on how La'el Collins plays, just like when we said this about 4 or 5 weeks ago on Boss Cowboys Sports, that, hey, man, this whole ideal is based upon how well Terence Steele plays. If Terence Steele doesn't play well, this ideal is out of the window. But the issue now is that Terence Steele has played well. And here's another thing that I think that we got to consider as fans, because I really want the fans to be educated and smart. Listen, Jerry Jones is starting to have buyer's remorse on big contracts that are underperforming or missing games. The philosophy is shifting. The culture is shifting from the front office because we saw that with the release of Jalen Smith. That was about money. That was about him not taking out his injury clause, and they had a conversation with Jalen. Hey, Jalen, will you remove this to save some money? Jalen said, no. Okay, I'm sorry. We got to let you go. Think about this. La'el Collins' 5-year deal, where's most of the money on his contract going to be paid? Most of his money is going to kick in $30-some-odd million after this season. After this season, he goes to $10 million a year base salary. He was guaranteed about $20 million, which will be paid anyway this year. You get younger, you get cheaper. And listen, the internal arguments in the Jones family, Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones, listen, Stephen Jones has a philosophy of a budgeter, right? He's always been budgeting, do cheap free agents that are value picks, and win through the draft, right? Him and Will McClay. And guess what? They've proven that theory to be strong this year and several years previous to this. And so that's why I'm saying, guys, heads are going to roll, man. And if you're not top flight, the best thing that La'el can do is come back and just murder people. That's the best thing he can do because he's already on the hot seat. And Jerry Jones, and I'll cut it off here, Jerry Jones actually said it directly about the right tackle, then alluded to the right tackle on back-to-back weeks. So Jerry Jones is thinking about this, and Jerry Jones is not a poker player, man. If he says something, he's thinking about it.
Yeah, and don't ever worry about cutting it off. Keep talking. We don't.
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, this is your platform. We bring guests on. It's all about you.
So we've got Terence Steele, who we feel good about. I feel good about. I was nervous going into week 2, and then that Chargers game happened. Then afterward, I was like, yeah, okay, all right, Terence Steele, but you do it 4 more times. Let me see you do it 4 more times. And Terence still went out and did it 4 more times.
But see, I agree with OC where it says
you feel good there, and while you feel good at that position, Why not take a couple weeks during this bye, during next week in practice, and see what Lyle Collins can do at guard? And rotate him in a little bit and give it some thought and see, you know what, could this be an option for us? Why not? It doesn't mean that on game day we're not going to trot Connor Williams out there. It means we're just going to see. We're going to try it on. See what it looks like.
But yeah, no, like I said, it's very seldom that like if there's two sides to the argument, I kind of see both sides. But on this one, I do see both sides. I mean, I can see, like I said the other day on the Boss's thing, I don't 100% disagree with what him and OC is saying. I get it. I'll probably go about it a little bit different, but we totally agree on Terence Steele. People complain, but yeah, when we was talking about pressures the other day, they was asking, well, yeah, but how many was that? How much help do we give him? I'm like, who gives a shit? He's a young tackle. That's what you do. That helps him grow. Eventually he'll grow to where he doesn't need help. You know, you just don't do like Jason Garrett does and throw the fucker out there and says, sink or swim, bitch, as you're by yourself. Then you get Atlanta Falcon game 2017 and you get fucking 9 sacks on your quarterback. You know, so yeah, you kind of bring him in a little bit at a time. It's not like chipping is hurting us. I mean, Jesus Christ, we're top 5 in running, top 5 in fucking throwing, top 5 in fucking scoring. I mean, so it's kind of like one of them things. I thought Terence Steele played, I won't say great, but very, very, very good. Mm-hmm. I've been very impressed with Terence Steele. So yeah, I'm with him in that, to where I don't necessarily have a problem keeping him there. You know, I think I would go about it different at left guard, what I would do. But at the end of the day, what's Marcus say? My only issue. Let's get Marcus in here real quick, huh?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I did that. Yeah. That was me.
If you keep bumping it. My only issue with Collins was guard was our lowest graded lineman, and it showed when he was moved to tackle. He was top 5 graded tackle before injuries. Does moving him really put us about? Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier, Marcus. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know how good he would be at guard. I thought he was good at guard. At run blocking, I thought he had some issues from pass protection, which is why I wasn't in the trained part of moving him right tackle, because I figure if you're going to have some pass protection at left guard, and you're putting him out on Allen, he's going to have some out there. And he did in 2017, 2018, but he fixed all that shit in 2019. Now the question is he 2019 Collins? I don't know that. And I can't say that. Everybody else is saying that. That's what they say to OC. That's what they say to Boss. I've heard him many times say, why are you going to move a top 5 right tackle to left guard? And my question is he still top 5? I can't tell you that. You know, but I also can't tell you if he would play good at guard. I mean, he hasn't played that much. I mean, he's missed more games than Tyron Smith has since 2015. So there's a lot of questions about him that I have that has not been answered. So we'll see how it works out. Like I said, I wouldn't lose my shit on anything. You always should improve your team. Like OC said earlier about Jason Garrett.
Yeah, and
always try to improve. Do everything you can to improve. You know, and if it doesn't work, then hell, take it back and do something else. But you always try to improve. Go ahead, OC. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, man. And yeah, and I kind of push back on people a little bit when they say, hey, you know, he's a top 5 guy, right? He's a top 5 guy. Well, I mean, let's think about this, man. I mean, listen, La'el Collins is not really a top 5 tackle. I'm sorry. He's a good tackle. He played on the Pro Bowl level in 2019.
1 year.
Should he have made the Pro Bowl? Yeah, I agree. He should have made the Pro Bowl. He was graded. It was only 3 other tackles that had a higher grade than him in that year. But if we talk about top tackles in the NFL, here's the thing that people got to understand. You have Trent Williams, okay? You have David Beccaria, who plays for Green Bay. That's a top tackle. You have Tyron Smith. That's a top tackle. You have Yonda with Baltimore. That's a top tackle. You have Dwayne Brown. You have a Terrence Armstead. You have a Josh Sitton, right? You have guys like that were top tackles, right? So I don't see, just to be honest, I don't see La'el Collins as a top 5. Barely, I don't even see him as a top 10 tackle. And if you look across the NFL, right, I see him as a very good tackle. And so the contention, going back to the previous point, is that if you can get very good or almost as good as him at right tackle, and he can dominate, which is what he did. he dominated, and his grade was not the lowest grade of guards. He had one of the top rookie grades as a starting left guard in the NFL his rookie year. He had one of the best grades. Then if he has the opportunity to be a role grader and dominate the inside, why not look at it? That's it. It's just simple and easy.
No, actually, I was saying not that I expect to disagree with you coming here, but we agree a lot more than I thought we would, because I'm with you on Lyle Collins, and I mean it was 1 year. He did 1 year he played great, but I mean I need more than 1 year just to assume that that's that guy. And like Marcus said, his hip. You know where's his hip? You know we had one game. He's played one game since his hip. We don't know what we don't know nothing. I mean he gave up 3 pressures in that game. Whatchamacallit, my man just went blank. Stills gave up 8 all year. Lyle gave up 3 in one game. You know, so I mean, and Stills gave up no sacks either. So yeah, I mean, like I said, what's weird about it is I was not for Lyle Collins moving to right tackle. I wanted him to stay at guard. I thought he was going to be a good guard, if not a great guard. You know, but then when they moved him, it's just now I'm just like, that's so far removed. I'm wondering, can he do that now? And that's a big question. My question on Lyle Collins. Can he be a top 5 right tackle like everybody thinks he is? And people who want to move back in the guard, I'm like, can he still do that? I don't know if he can still do that. There's just, like I said earlier, there's so many questions I ask. And like Rika said, fucking try it. You know, give him practice, let him take some snaps, you know, try different things, I guess. You know, I don't know what's going on with OC. I have no fucking clue what's going to happen. I mean, I can't guess what's going to happen, but I guess I think he'll probably end up at right tackle, and we'll stay kind of status quo until we see what happens. But I'm totally with OC about Steele and Collins at right tackle. I'm 100% on him. I haven't seen it enough to just say anoint him a top 5 right tackle or even top 10. One great year. I thought he played great. I even said that year. I said, hey, he proved me wrong this year. I was like, I didn't think he could do it, and he did it. But he only did it 1 year, and I've seen so many players do that. Have a couple okay years, and all of a sudden they just have that one fucking great year, and everybody's like, yeah, he did it. That's what I told you. He's fucking great. And the next year they disappear. You know, that happens all the time. Sometimes the stars align, and for whatever reason, they just have a great year. And then they kind of drop off the face of the earth. But yeah, like I said earlier, I'm up for everything. I don't totally disagree with the OC and Boss about moving. That's not the worst idea, putting him back at left guard. But I just, you know, I think there's a lot of options, and it'd be curious to see how they're going to work all this out. I do want McGovern on the field more. I don't know how, but I would like to see him on the field more. Besides fullback, besides the MAC package. But I love the MAC package. The fucking MAC package is fucking wonderful.
All right, guys, we're reaching that 45-minute mark. But hey, so what we've found out is we've got some really great options at backup in Steele and in McGovern, and Steele as a starter if we choose to keep him there. And we've got a commanding lead in this division, which gives us some cushion. We've got a top 5 offense that needs just a little bit of polish to be number 1. And because of that commanding lead, we can use a little bit of that cushion, a little bit of that wiggle room, try some things in practice, try some things even in a game, and figure out what that magic combination is going to be to get the best 5 on the field and run through these playoffs and get number 6. And hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm happy about it. I'm a happy girl. I'm a happy camper. Much happier than I was a year ago, I can tell you that. All right, guys, our time is about up. A lot of content creators coming on in the next 15 minutes. I want to remind everybody, Rika Moves the Chain show will be moving starting next week to Tuesday nights at 7 o'clock. And I want to thank the OC for coming on and being my guest. I was so happy to have you.
But before he leaves, I want to ask you something. What do you think will happen, OC? What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah. What's your prediction?
What's your prediction on the all line?
My prediction is this. I think that eventually you're going to see Collins at guard. And if he doesn't play super well, you're going to have a restructure of his contract or he's going to get released. That's my long-term prediction. I think that initially coming in, they'll probably put him back at right tackle the first game or so. But I'm telling you, if he don't come out the chute playing well and they put him back at right tackle, then it's going to be extremely interesting. That's my prediction.
Yeah, see, that's what I think, and that's what I said a couple of days ago. I think they'll put him back at right tackle, and if he's not playing way above Steele, if he's just just man or playing Steele's level, then I think they'll make a move. And I'm surprised you said they're going to release him possibly if he doesn't, do better. But I agree with that too. I
Yep.
agree. I think Jerry's starting to look at that shit and saying, hey, if you ain't performing, if you ain't here, availability is the best ability you can have, and he hasn't
Yep.
been very available here the past couple. Well, actually, his whole career. But yeah, no,
Yep.
I agree. I agree with about 98% of what you said. We disagree
Yep.
on very little of that shit.
Shocking.
I know, shocking, because I don't agree with a lot of people.
All right. Thank you guys. I had a good time. Before we go, I just want to remind everybody, if you haven't yet, make sure to check out twistedgorilla.com. They've got some of the best t-shirts online, and they've got Cowboys gear. Make sure that you let them know that you're a fan of Rika Moves the Chains and save 15% at checkout when you use coupon code RIKA15. And don't forget to give us a like or even a dislike. I'm okay with that too. Subscribe, share, and ring that notification bell so you can get notified every single time I go live. Thanks everybody for joining me. I've had a great time tonight. Thank you, OC, for coming on. I can't wait to have you back. And
My
I will
pleasure.
see
Thank you.
everyone next Tuesday night, 7 o'clock, right here on Dallas Cowboys Uncensored. Good night.